Hello, this is O.C. Ferrell, Anderson School of Management at the University of New Mexico. And today we have Terry Clark with us. Terry is a professor of marketing at Southern Illinois University in Carbondale, and he's formerly been on the faculty at Notre Dame and Emory universities, as well as he got his Ph.D. from Texas A&M. He's extremely well published, and he is concerned about marketing not being as important as it should be in business organizations. And so Terry, I want to get right to it and ask you, what's happening to marketing? Why isn't as important in a business as it should be?
Unfortunately, marketing isn't as important today as it should be. Before I tell you about why it isn't important, let me tell you about why it should be important. The only part of the firm that is involved with revenue generation, that is selling products to people, is marketing. Finance folks don't do it, the accounting people don't do it, management people don't do it, and I'm not disrespecting them. They have very important roles in the firm, but it's very interesting to reflect on the fact that only marketing stimulates demand, only marketing generates sales, which suggests to me that if marketing doesn't do its job, no one else has a job. No sales, no jobs for anyone. Every sector of the economy on the planet, every job on the planet, rides on the back of somebody somewhere doing the task of marketing. So marketing is pretty important. It's the only function that is involved with revenue generation, top line generation. So then why did I say that marketing its influence is in decline? Well, since the late 60s and mid 70s, finance emerged as the dominant paradigm in the corporation. They emerged with a corporate governance model called shareholder value. And shareholder value attempts to correlate the private personal interests of management, the folks who hold the reins in a corporation, with the interests of stockholders. And it's based on the assumption that managers left to themselves would probably feather their own nest a little bit too much. And so shareholder value attempts to remunerate top managers to the degree that they improve stock performance. The problem with this model is that managerial attention is focused way too much on stock performance, way too much on analysts' projections, and way too much on quarterly reports. Their attention, their talent is diverted, and in the process, the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer, emerges as the point person preeminent in the corporation. And in all of this, marketing becomes more and more neglected. Instead of looking at the revenue-generating function of marketing as the thing that drives the top line, they begin to look at it as a cost. So how can we increase margins, cut costs? Well, what kind of costs can we cut? Well, we can cut the ad budget, we can cut the sales budget, and it has a short run a favorable impact on margins, but in the long run, if you're trying to drive a car from Albuquerque to Denver, and you have this kind of attitude towards it, what you might say, well, gasoline weighs, it's got a 100-pound gas tank in it. We can get better miles per gallon if we take the gas tank off. And perhaps you will for the first mile, but after that there's no gas in the tank. And so this is what's happening in corporations. Marketing is being underfed, neglected. The revenue-generating portions of marketing that should be fed first, in fact, are being treated as costs and being cut. And the shareholder value model of corporate governance is turning the whole way corporations are viewed into a cost-cutting exercise, into a short-run exercise of maximizing stock returns quarter by quarter by quarter by quarter, meeting analyst projections, and in the process, top managers are incentivized to do just exactly that.
Terry, what you're saying is that marketers and a marketing strategy is a long-term perspective of relationship building and creating real value to customers. And many of the people from other functional areas are just looking at the short term. And I think that's an incredible thing to point out. But it's a hard thing to convince people within an organization that they can live beyond the quarter.
Yes. The thing is, the folks in the C-suite, the CEO and so forth, are under inexorable pressure to perform in the short run. And I think we need nothing short of a revolution in corporate governance to fix it. I think it's one of the reasons Borders bookstores that we all loved went under, because they were being pressured to coupon us to death. Why were they couponing us? Well, because they needed short-term spikes in revenue to meet analysts' projections and to meet quarterly reports. But in the process, they trained us to only purchase books when we had a coupon. In other words, they squandered their customer equity that they had in us in favor of just having us come in to buy books when we had a coupon. And it's not a sustainable model.
Terry, we want to thank you for joining us today.
Thanks very much.
And these are very insightful observations about the field of marketing. And again, thank you.
Thank you.